precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For all gathered here and this far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For gathered here and this far away, for the time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Fort Myers. Together, we are inspired by love and we transform ourselves to serve others. My name is Lesley Peterson, and it's my privilege to serve as the Vice President for Worship and a Worship Associate for this congregation. I'm pleased to be sharing the chancel this morning with our minister, Reverend Sue Gabrielson. Also joining us is our Director of Music, Jon Dalton, and our wonderful choir. I'd also like to give thanks to our amazing tech team who make it possible for us to come together into this hybrid service. They do so much behind the scenes to make all of this happen, and I'm very grateful for all of their hard work and dedication. Today, we will be sharing in a communion of thanksgiving. As we join in this exploration, let us open our minds and hearts and we reflect on all that we have to be grateful for in our lives. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our guests this morning. If you have filled out a connection card, please place it in the bags that the greeters will pass during the offertory. If you're joining us online, I'd like to invite you to complete a connection card. The link will be placed in the chat box. The most important gift that you can give us is a chance to get to know you. Members may use the card for changing contact information or a caring concern that you would like our pastoral care associates to address. We honor and greet the descendants of the Calusa of Southwest Florida, on whose native land we are honored to call home. Let us remember that Indigenous people are still with us. We honor, recognize, and celebrate you. If you are attending by Zoom, please keep your microphone muted and refrain from placing messages in the chat window unless you are asked to do so. And now, let us begin our service of thanksgiving.
Good morning. Today we are thankful for you, for all that you bring to this congregation. Your spirit, talents, generosity, imagination, and dedication, they all reaffirm our congregation and beloved community. Our heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for being here today. For those who embrace Thanksgiving as a day to honor the gifts of family, friendship, abundance, security, we celebrate with you and join our voices to hold aloft all the sacred blessings. For those of you who hold Thanksgiving as a day of sadness, who mourn for the hurt and loss of Native peoples, who are lonely, who grieve the loss of someone close to them, we also hold your heartache and sorrow so you don't have to carry the burdens alone. Come, let us worship together.
This morning we light our chalice as UU congregations throughout the world do on Sunday mornings. So we're doing this in community with not only our congregation, but with the wider UU community. Our chalice lighting words this morning are called The Abundance of Our Lives Together by Katie Sivani Gelfand. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is this sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. Please join me now in singing our opening hymn, number 68, Come Ye Thankful People. Please feel free to rise in body or spirit.
Let us join first in our covenant, and then we'll sing.
I'm so sorry. I am
That's
so
okay.
sorry. So sorry.
No, you can
Yeah,
still
but
stand.
you can still
Our
remain
covenant
standing.
is there. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth and love, and to help one another. And now our opening hymn, number 68, Come Ye Thankful People.
Come, ye thankful people, come, raise a song of harvest home. Fruit and crops are gathered in, safe before the storms begin. God our Maker will provide for our needs to be supplied. Come to God's own temple, come, raise a song of harvest home. All the world is but a field, given for a fruitful yield. Wheat and tares together sown, here for joy or sorrow grown. First the plain and then the ear, and the full corn shall appear. God of harvest, grant that we wholesome, green, and pure may be.
Please be seated. We have a responsive reading this morning. The words will be printed on the screen or in your hymnal. It's number 656, entitled A Harvest of Gratitude. Once more the fields have ripened to harvest, and the fruitful earth has fulfilled the promise of spring. How rich and beautiful is the bounty gathered, the golden grain and clustered corn, the grapes of purple and green. Season follows after season, after winter, the spring, after summer, the harvest-laden autumn. From the harvest of the soil, we are given occasion to garner a harvest of the heart and mind. A harvest of reverence for the wondrous power and life at work in things that grow and in the soul.
Every Sunday, we join together in a ceremony that we call the Stones of Intention. If you have a stone with you this morning, I invite you to hold that stone in your hand, close to your heart. During the musical meditation, we invite you to come forward to place your stone in the bowls with others in this extended beloved community. Allow your stone to symbolize your intentions, reflections, prayers, joys, and sorrows, or milestones in your life. If you have not already brought a stone with you into the sanctuary, you may choose one from the baskets that are next to the bowls of sand. For those of you joining on Zoom, you may also place a virtual stone of intention by clicking on the green button on our church website's weekly order of worship. A direct link will be provided in the Zoom chat box. If you wish, you may include your thoughts and intentions in the Zoom chat box. Remember, whether you are here with us in the sanctuary or attending virtually, we are all participating in community with each other. And now let us begin. In addition to being the beginning of Thanksgiving week, today is also the Transgender Day of Remembrance, a day where we acknowledge the often invisible lives of our trans sisters, brothers, and siblings. This year, just this year, 336 have died by homicide or by suicide. And I suspect that the actual numbers are much higher than that. In honor of this solemn day, Kat Pivetti will read a poem, and then we will read the names of the 50 folks who we have lost here in the United States.
Hello. This is a hard time for many of us, for me especially, because some of these are people that I know. And some of those who are threatened are people that I love. The Trans Day of Remembrance is tomorrow, November 20th. I actually wrote this poem this year on Veterans Day, thinking about, death, hope, loss, what we can do next, but mostly love. All right. So there we go. For the Trans Day of Remembrance, with thanks to John McCrae. Red flowers. In Flanders fields, poppies blow. The only flowers here bloom on t-shirts, cross-dressing skirts, and blue jean legs of bodies. Left in alleys, left on street corners, in bathrooms, glass sprinkled in parked cars, disheveled on carpets, sliding down dark staircases in our memory that sees red poppies flow across soft skin, down legs that danced just yesterday. We walk through fear and grief between the crosses, row on row. We remember those who were killed. We remember those who lived to wish that they had died. We are the dead. We see red poppies grow in numbers year by year. Children do not sit on American Legion floors, cutting and rolling red crepe paper into paper poppies to where, in our memory, the poppies grow between the silent row on row. Mark our place. In the sky, larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard above the noise below. We are the living and the dead. Short days ago, we felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved. And now our long nights are reft by lies, told to incite new deaths. To you, from broken hands, we throw our dampened torch that shone on shattered lives. See how beautifully our dead spoke in their living love. Hear the words that they would say if they still could speak, and know that each repeated lie, that each bitter, jealous stone was flung at all of us and all of you. We do not die alone. Our numbers grow and others follow. We are not the only ones. Not all fields were in Flanders. 1918 did not see the end of war. Marne, Normandy, Berlin, Dunkirk, Crete, Anzio, swastikas. Their numbers grow between the crosses, row on row. Mark our lives. In the sky, larks still singing fly. Raise our dead voices now. Hear us as the silenced cry. We did not die when we were killed. We lived, we love, we live.
Let us carry those individuals in our hearts as we read the names of those that we have lost far too soon. Tiffany Banks, Miles Fitzpatrick, Adeline Anderson, Kelly Loving, Daniel Davis Aston, Diamond Jackson McDonald, Day Rhodes, Morgan D., Destiny Howard, Marquis M.J. Jackson, Henry Berg Rousseau, Kaylee Lovelight, Levi Martin, Gwen Gatewood, Jasmine Starr Mack, Casey Johnson, Manuel Tortuguita Terán, Olivia Snow, Maria Jose Rivera Rivera, Unique Banks,
Ivory Nicole Smith, Emanti Witaho Zaki, Cache Henderson, Caitlin Kate Aowen Earhart, Kaylee Scott, Tasia Sia Woodland, Ashley Burton, Mo Moore, Rashida Coco Dadol Williams, Banco Paso Banco Brown, Ome Gandhi, Nova Dunn, Ashia Davis, Chanel Olvita Perez Ortiz, Michelle Dion Peacock, Jacob Williamson, Colin Smith, Ferniel Mary Mora, Ellen Esther Adem, Mikai Ray,
Camden Ryder, Devon Dre Johnson, Luis Angel Diaz Castro, Thomas Tom Tom Robertson, Catherine Wheeler, Tree Crane, Reacia Banks, Alex Andreevna Sokova, Yoko, Sherilyn Marjorie. These names will not be forgotten. They will be held close by those who love them and remember them. And now, I will place 3 final stones. The first stone I place in loving memory of those names that we just read. The next stone I place for peace throughout the world. And this final stone I place for all that remains in our hearts but is left unspoken. May our prayers be heard and our hearts be restored.
Please remain seated and join together in singing reflectively hymn number 1002, Comfort Me.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Perhaps you feel comfortable now, and I'm going to ask you to do something that I know will feel uncomfortable for some of you. I'm going to ask you to move from your places. And I know you have places, many of you, because I can look out and I can know who's here and who's not here this morning, because you always sit in the same spot. I would like us to gather at the table. And so what I would love is if you are able to stand around, you can do that. You may sit on the stage, sit in the first pews, but come close so that we are all gathered around our collective table. Whatever is comfortable for you. If you really don't want to move, that's okay too. Out of the endless sea they came, voyagers, the pilgrims, borne over slate-gray waters by winds caught in tall sails. They came as strangers to the shore of a strange land. With a strong will and a hopeful heart, they came in search of freedom. They came with a will to worship as we do, in freedom. In the woodland heart of this new land, another people lived. the Native American people who were at home already, planting their fields, fishing its clear waters. We remember that they welcomed these folks. And of course, nobody knows exactly what the whole story was. But what we know is that it's important that people welcome the stranger, to take the stranger in to their hearts and homes, and we feel deep grief for those who are scorned as different or turned away as strangers, as refugees in war, as so many of our potential immigrants are experiencing now. In the season of harvest, let us imitate the earth's bounty with our generosity of spirit. Let us make up for the loss of sunlight by sharing the warmth in our hearts, and let us extend our hand to the stranger, remembering that we have all been strangers at one time. So in this moment, I invite you to turn to those who are next to you, old friends and new, strangers and visitors alike, and greet one another. Tell them how happy you are to see them, how good it is we are here together. Come on down. Over time, come on back. We do have social hour afterwards. You can keep talking. Throughout time, women and men and children have participated in ceremonies and rituals where we express our gratitude to the earth and to each other for all the blessings that we receive from our labors, the fruits of our labors. We remember that many generations have come to these shores as strangers. They asked to be welcome. Some were, and some were excluded. Some sent away when all they sought was freedom. Freedom to worship, freedom to live, freedom to work. Others found their way, and they were taken in and befriended, found meaning, made enduring bonds. Maybe some of those strangers to these shores were your parents. How were you welcomed along the way? What stranger was your rock of caring and support when you started something new or came to a new place? Who supported us, helped us to grow strong, guided you along the way? I'd ask you to think about your heritage. Where do you come from? Did you leave your homeland? Did your family leave their homeland because of difficulty or because of promised opportunity? What do you bring to this Thanksgiving table? Can you name the stranger who came on your behalf? Were they hungry in Ireland, discriminated against in Poland? What is your story of coming to the table? The story goes that our Pilgrim ancestors wanted to join a friendly colony in Virginia, but they instead landed on a stern Rockland coast in New England in the dead of winter with only the supplies they brought with them. Any sowing of seeds or hope of harvest was months away. History now acknowledges that without the group of natives that they met, they would have never survived. Without the gifts of corn and teaching that helped them to learn to plant and cultivate and to use the earth in many ways, they would have died. This morning, our cornbread is a reminder of bread, which is the staff of life, the symbol of the generous earth whose bounty sustains us. We are also reminded that we are dependent on each other, dependent on strangers. May the cornbread also remind us of how much we need one another. I would invite you all to take a piece of cornbread and hold it in your hands until everyone has one. You all can figure out how to pass that out carefully with napkins and all of that. Don't eat it yet. I know it's hard, everyone's hungry. For those of you on Zoom, we're sorry we can't share in this lovely bread, but we're holding you in our hearts and in our community. Too dry. As we share this bread, let us give thanks for the world which shares its riches with us, nourishes our bodies, and let us give thanks for others who share their hearts with us, strangers becoming friends, nourishing each other's souls. You may eat. In their desperate hunger during the first terrible winter, our pilgrim ancestors were grateful for the tart red berries they found growing in the lowlands of Plymouth, Massachusetts. Combined with wild honey, cranberries added something special to their meals. In the crushing of the berries to create juice, we are reminded of the sacrifices that were made in order for us to live the beautiful life we have now. Those who were courageous enough to start a new life, and those who were courageous enough to welcome the stranger. Those courageous enough to endure judgments and oppression in order that they might live their truth as they understand. Without faith in something larger than themselves and devotion to each other, the early communities would never have continued. This faith in a greater love, which upholds us all, and this devotion to community are also what give us cause to celebrate. By drinking this cranberry juice, we remember the sacrifices, the symbol of our faith in the love that binds us together as family and friends. I'd invite everyone to take a cup of juice. And I don't know if we're going to have enough. Do you think we have enough? We'd have to split some of these. I can't tell. I didn't count people, but maybe we'll have. Hold on to your cranberry juice until we're all served, please.
Walter, do you want me to grab you one?
Okay, Walter, I'd appreciate if you go down and not have pictures up here. Okay, thanks. Let us drink this juice in gratitude for the faith and love that we share. Let us bring to mind all those we know who have sacrificed so that we might be here in this moment, sharing together. To those who have gone before us in this congregation, in our families, and in our community, may we be grateful. May we give our love in equal measure to those who will follow us. And now, as you are willing and able, you can throw your cups away. I'm going to invite you to hold hands. Let us join our hearts in the spirit of meditation and prayer. Let us hold hands around this room, around this table, without fear of the unwashed or the old or fear of the young. Let us hold hands, brown and calloused, trembling, caressing, tiny, strong, cold hands, frail, angry, warm, stiff, bold, and loving hands. Hands that wipe away tears, that tie shoes, that rake leaves and hold lollipops. Hands that make music and chop vegetables, that type on a keyboard and open to catch a ball. Hands that greet a stranger or an old friend, that say hello and goodbye and open doors for us. Let us hold hands. May we include in this circle those who are suffering from illness, from sorrow and loss, from loneliness or despair. Let our joined hands help to open our hearts to the stranger who may feel unloved, the one who is homeless, or who has decided they are worthless. May our hands reach out to welcome all to our table, to offer our kindness. We remember those who have died, who are struggling, those who are near, and those who are far. Those who have suffered from war, poverty, disease, those who long for a chance to recover from the ashes of pain and terror and live again with renewed hope. We remember ourselves and those lives that are just beginning as babies, and we open our hearts together in thankfulness for this journey that we call life. Blessed be and amen. You may go back and sit wherever you want.
One of the ways we live our spiritual values in the world is by making them real through a form of financial contribution. I invite you to enliven your commitment to this community and be generous in giving to support the work of this congregation. Every month, we also donate funds to a community organization in Lee County. This month, our community sharing partner is the Alliance for Fair Food, and we have a video to share with you about their work.
It's that time of the year when many of us gather with our families to enjoy time together over a delicious meal. Even as we head to the store to buy ingredients for some of Thanksgiving Day's most classic dishes, we often do not think or do not know the story behind our food. Even today, farm workers in America can face horrific conditions while harvesting our food. In fact, just last year, the Department of Justice handed down a nearly decade-long sentence to Vladimir Moreno for committing forced labor. Forced to work for meager pay, farm workers under Moreno faced threats of death for them and the lives of the families if they dared to try to escape. These workers were harvesting watermelon and that classic Thanksgiving vegetable, the sweet potato. The U.S. Department of Labor also revealed the shelves where all of those products ended up. And at the top of that list was Kroger. But that is not how the story ends. Over the last decades, we as farm workers have built the Fair Food Program, an award-winning human rights program that has spread to cover tens of thousands of workers and nearly a dozen products, including sweet potatoes. We have uprooted long-standing human rights violations like sexual assault and modern-day slavery. In the words of Alejandrina, a Fair Food Program worker, you're not going to be harassed, you're not going to be insulted, you're not going to be forced to work. There is more respect now. Despite the success of the Fair Food Program, there are still major retailers across the country that refuse to participate. Instead, they turn a blind eye and respond with deafening silence to abuses in their own supply chain. At the top of that list is also Kroger. And it is unconscionable that one of the country's largest supermarkets would turn its back on the workers on its own supply chain when there is the Fair Food Program, a proven solution to this exploitation. This Thanksgiving, you can help change the story of the food on our tables. Call on Kroger to join the Fair Food Program.
Some of you were part of this initial process that established these guidelines and asked organizations like Walmart and Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried Chicken, some of the other big chains to treat their workers in the supply chain ethically. And I met with Marley just this week in Immokalee. This film was made 2 nights ago. They finished it, so it's brand new. And they're asking Kroger's to sign on. And I know there are no Kroger's, I don't think, in Florida, but it's one of the largest food supermarket chains in the country. And it's also important to know that Publix has not chosen to sign on either. And so I just want to express gratitude for those of you who I know carried signs and picketed and protested at one time, because they have made enormous progress. And just this year, there were workers who were found as indentured slaves picking tomatoes. They were brought here from Mexico and Guatemala, and they were told they had to pay $5,000 for the visa that the company was giving them and the privilege to come to the United States and pick. And how long do you think it might take them to pay that $5,000 off if they're not earning fair wages? And so they were locked into the plantation, the farm and that was just this year that these folks in Immokalee that are doing amazing work. So just to bring it closer to home, when we talk about our sharing partners, I think sometimes it feels like it's still out there, but this is right here. So gratitude for all that you can give.
Thank you, Reverend Sue, for that update. If you wish for your contribution this morning to go towards the church, please mark it in the line of your check or in the envelope, or if you're online and contributing that way, there's a spot on the PayPal link to do that. All undesignated funds will go to the Alliance for Fair Food. The offering will now be generously given and gratefully received.
Chosen
please join me as we receive the morning offering with the words printed on the screen. You can stay seated. Things are a little different today. By the work of our hands and by the work of our hearts, our love is made real. May we be grateful for all that is given and grateful for all that is shared. Today we have the honor of welcoming new members, perhaps strangers, to our collective UUCFM table. I'm so thrilled to have new folks who have decided to make UUCFM their home. So I'm going to invite them to come up one by one as I tell you a little bit about them, and you all can stand here with me. And then I'm going to, when you come up, you may sign our membership book. And then after everyone has done that, then we have some gifts for you. So first, I'm going to invite up Liz Caramelli. She's lived in Fort Myers for 16 years, was lucky enough to be born in Brooklyn, New York, where her love, and you're not the only one, you know, this is interesting, where her love for art and music was cultivated. She says Brooklyn was a diversified area where different races, ethnicities, religions, sexual orientation, and living arrangements were accepted. And when she moved with her ex-husband to different parts of the US, she was surprised that that is not always the case. And so she's glad to be part of a UU congregation where equality for all can continue to be her mission. Diane Bothfeld. Diane is a new resident of Fort Myers after spending years in Vermont. She's glad to have found the Unitarian Universalist congregation here and is excited to get to know everyone. Diane is a beer guru. I don't know this word. You became a certified Cicerone in 2023. Does that mean you're like the expert beer maker?
I'm an expert on beer.
You're an expert on beer. Beyond beer, Diane does enjoy walking, puzzles, pickleball, golf, and the beach. Mary Pivetti is also originally from Vermont, where she was a faculty member at the University of Vermont. By the way, that's my alma mater, for 34 years. During the COVID pandemic, Diane and Mary came to Fort Myers to escape the cold, dark winter and fell in love with the weather, the beaches, and the very welcoming community they have discovered here. They now live right down the road at Cross Creek. She was an active member at the UU Society of Burlington, Vermont for over 25 years and remains deeply committed to the UU principles. Her passions are cooking, reading, travel, and all things creative. I think between the two of you, you've got it covered. And so we'll expect an invitation to dinner with beer. Mary Kluzicki, how do I say your last name? Kluzicki. Mary is originally from Buffalo, New York, and she retired on December 31st of 2019 after 15 years in the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service, mediating labor disputes between companies and unions in the private and public sectors, including the federal government. She says her goal is to become a better human being. Deborah, or Debbie Dunlap. Debbie is a semi-retired early childhood educator and Montessorian from Connecticut originally, and she loves being here in Florida. She says her husband promised to take me on an adventure when we married in 2005, and so we moved here and have been finding our lives changed by being in paradise together. She says she's the kind of person who enjoys getting lost. I'm able to see things I wouldn't normally see if I stayed on a set course. I'm extremely grateful to be part of this congregation and feel like I have come home to a family that is loving and supportive. Danielle, is it Tingley or Tingley? Tingley. She says she first wants to be grateful to myself and to Mary Klein Golbitz and several other members of this congregation for helping her and her family during very difficult times. She started attending UUCFM in January of this year and has felt so much love and welcoming from everyone. UUCFM has truly become her home and safe place, which is a very valuable, important thing to me. Thank you to everyone in this congregation for being such a beacon of light and hope. Thank you for being so welcoming and encouraging to myself as well as my family and friends. I look forward to officially being a part of this congregation and would like to serve in whatever ways I can. And Judy, is Louisa here? Come on up. Louisa was also raised in Brooklyn, New York. You all have some things in common. She recently lost her husband, and it's been a very sad time in her life. Louisa is a cosmetology instructor and has had quite an amazing life, although not always easy. I love her story, and it's so fitting for today's service. She says she still cries every day and lost hope and sometimes doesn't see a future much. She's spent many weekends sitting in our garden and walking in our labyrinth. She said they used to visit here when her husband was alive. She said she remembers when we started building this building many years ago. And finally, she said, one day I was sitting by your labyrinth and I didn't want to be alone anymore. And so I came inside. You can make your signatures. While you're making your signatures, I'm going to ask you to multitask and listen to what I'm saying. Can you do that? Yes? Today we do welcome you into our community, and we are so glad that you have chosen us. We are so glad to have you here with us and that you would like to be a fellow seeker on your life journey here. I'm curious, will you accept our gifts of fellowship, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? And will you add your name as you sign this book to the long list of Unitarian Universalist folks who have spread our faith in all directions? Will you engage with us as we seek to continue to create a community of love? You should say yes. Yes. And now to the greater congregation, I have a question for you. As we affirm these new members, you also affirm the integrity of your own membership or potential membership. Do we covenant to grow in love and spirit with these new members on this special day? Great rejoicing. So these new members have received a welcome letter as well as their fancy new name tags and also a bag of stones. And these stones are the 5 smooth stones that we often talk about in this congregation. The stone of possibility, the stone of respect, the stone of justice, the stone of power, and the stone of hope. All a reminder of the very many aspects that we live each day and how it's better to do it in community than to do it alone. I would invite you to rise in body or spirit as you are able. We will extinguish our chalice and sing together our closing hymn, number 67, We Sing Now Together. This flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. It's a sign.
We sing now together our song of thanksgiving, rejoicing in goods which the ages have wrought, for life that enfolds us and helps and heals and holds us, and leads beyond the goals which our forebears once sought. We sing of the freedoms which martyrs and heroes have won by their labor, their sorrow, their pain, the oppressive befriending, our ampler hopes defending. Their death becomes a triumph, they died not in vain. We sing of the prophets, the teachers, the dreamers, designers, creators, and workers and seers, our own lives expanding, our gratitude commanding. Their deeds have made immortal their days and their years. We sing of community now in the making, in every far continent, region, and land, with those of all races, all times and names and places. We pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand.
Hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to my hand, even when I have gone away from you. Let us all go in peace.
Thank you for joining us here this morning, and thank you for being in community and in communion with us. Let us carry forth that feeling of fellowship and communion as we go to Hobart Hall to celebrate our togetherness with coffee hour and a potluck. For those of you joining us on Zoom, we will not be having a talkback section this morning, but we will be holding you in our hearts, and we wish all of you here today a joyful Thanksgiving.